We will now talk about functional nutrition with herbs with Zackar Nudelman from Solveat.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zackar Nudelman. I'm a co-founder of Solveat Functional Nutrition Solutions. I'm also in charge of the business and the science in the company. First, I would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity to introduce Solveat. And as you can see from our name, we bring health through food. So many ask what is functional food, and maybe the first definition of functional food, it was 2,500 years ago by Hippocrates, who defined the following definition: let food be the medicine and medicine be the food. And this is probably the prediction of current industry of functional food, which is a multi-billion industry. And the more modern definition is foods that has potentially a positive effect on health beyond basic nutrition. This is by Mayo Clinic. So today we see a lot of activity in the industry within the functional food arena, with the top companies making acquisitions, investing in innovation in the field of functional food, and there is a lot of deals that we are following and see. So before I would introduce our technology, I would like to introduce our multidisciplinary team, which includes myself. As introduced, the CEO of the company is Udi Perez, with great experience in operations and herbal extracts. Tal Nove is an herbalist with a clinic in Tel Aviv, very successful clinic, and a team of food technologists, Eastern doctors, Western doctors, and business development. So together we are working to bring a new vision to the industry. Actually, we are working to revolutionize everyday foods by targeting them to specific medical conditions, and we are doing so by integrating herbal medicine directly into foods, making them extraordinary, making them functional. So as you understand, we are working with herbal medicine, and herbal medicine is a solid source for disease and treatment prevention. It is known from ancient times, and there are thousands of herbs that are available for use, and there is a lot of documentation and knowledge about the clinics and the use of herbal medicine. So it sounds as a great potential, but there's still a very big challenge of how to bring the herbal medicine, how to make it accessible to the Western user. So, and this can be explained in a few critical points that currently is a challenge. So, for example, today the herbal medicine usually used as individual medicine. So it's per patient, and there is a need to make it accessible to large public. Regarding the effectiveness, so as we work following the Western medical standards, there is a lack of the standards at the East. So we are bringing it to the West. So we need to prove the efficacy of the treatments, of the ingredients using Western standards. A major challenge is also food compatibility, as herbs have an unpleasant taste, like bitter and sour, and has some stability issues of the active materials within the herbs. So there is a need for food technology in order to make it compatible with food and keep the experience of the food beyond the efficacy and the health benefit that we are proposing. And the last point is the production. The production as well need to be done as Western standards and quality control and cost effectiveness and all these issues that we are dealing with in order to bring a one solution that will be suitable for food by using Western standards. So the solution is to develop herbal composition for food applications. And we do so by combining our knowledge, what we call a knowledge hub, which includes the science, means the pharmacological models that we evaluate different herbal compositions for their efficacy in cells, for example, quality standards, and the clinical validation, as we want to bring a solution that is high quality, efficacious, and validated in a clinical way by the Western standards. So if we dive more into the platform that we are developing, and it is a platform which is a potential for multiple products and multiple compositions. So we start with the indication of interest. It means that the indication that has a large impact on the population, such as prediabetes, and I will elaborate about it more. So we select herbal set. We combine different composition of herbs, and we evaluate them in vitro, in pharmacological models, in order to find the minimal optimal composition, which means the composition that works the best way, the most efficacious, and has a minimal number of single herbs. So this is a minimal optimal composition. Then we apply extraction procedures, our proprietary extraction process, in order to make the process high quality. And we also check the fingerprints, what we call fingerprints in the herbs, which are specific molecules that are responsible for the activity. And this is validated by analytical methods in order to be sure that each batch of the composition is the same as previous, and the efficacy is also the same. Okay, so the next stage is to integrate the compositions, the herbal composition into food, in different foods. And this is the part of food technology that we develop in order to mask the taste and to keep the good experience of the foods, in order that people also like the food and get the medical benefit. So after the compositions are integrated into the foods, we are running clinical trials in order to see the clinical effect in population that the product is intended to. Okay, and finally, we have a composition that is fully developed and is ready to be integrated in different foods. And this is the base of a commercial platform. So just now what we've seen is a technological platform. And when we look on the commercial side of this platform, so we divide it in indications, like prediabetes as an example, and it is actually our first indication. And the specific composition can be integrated in different food applications, as you can see. And the next stage is to develop additional indications like immune boost, which is very relevant and demanded by the market and by the people, of course. And each composition can be integrated in different foods. So basically, this platform is infinite, and it is open to different cooperation with different food manufacturers that would like to make the foods functional, just regular foods, to make them functional and give them medical claims, for example. So to summarize, the value proposition of the company is a combination of a few things. So first, we propose herbal compositions that targeting specific medical conditions. These compositions are fully food compatible. It means that the food is tasty and has the positive effect on health. Another important point, as mentioned previously, is the Western standards, and it means also in scientific way, in clinical way, and in industrial quality way. So it all meets the Western standards. And today our capability is to develop each new herbal composition, means new indication, each 80 months. So this is to summarize. So I would like now to elaborate about the first indication that we work on, and it is pre-diabetes. It's lowering blood sugar levels, and this indication has a very serious commercial impact, as there are a lot of pre-diabetics in the world. Here you can see that it's also a big market. It's an 11 billion market. When we look on the US population, we see that 1 out of 3, each adult one out of 3 is pre-diabetic. It is about 90 million people. And when we check the statistics of Brazil, the situation is practically the same as in the US. So this is a global problem, and countries like US and Brazil are in the top 10 of this problem. So what we actually done during the past year, we got a grant from the Israel Innovation Authority to develop the first indication for lowering the blood sugar levels, and we composed a new composition, a new formula of herbs. We validated it in pharmacological models and have shown that it works as an anti-diabetic mechanism. We also have proven our extraction procedure, made a proof of concept for extraction procedure, and made the first application in food, which is a chocolate, and tested it in field study to check the clinical efficacy. And I would like to show you just the clinical effect. Here you can see 12 pre-diabetic volunteers that were consuming the chocolate for 4 to 11 weeks. And the blood sugar was tested at the beginning of the study and at the end of the study. And we can see that in 10 out of 12 cases, we see a significant decrease of 10 to 24% of blood sugars. And this significant decrease is not only statistic, it is also clinical. So people who are pre-diabetic, they are going to be diabetic. They move back to be normal instead of being diabetic. So this is a field study that is proving the approach. In the future, we are planning to run a full controlled clinical trial with more volunteers and more controlled way. So today we are investing in the first product, which is chocolate, in cooperation with Ornat Factory in Kadima, Israel. And we are planning to launch the sales in a year. And we are also looking for additional food manufacturers in order to cooperate and release more foods to the market, different foods. It can be chocolate, can be cookies, crackers. We even tried it in tahina and ice cream. So I hope that companies in Brazil will be interested also to cooperate and develop novel foods, novel functional foods. And finally, se junte a nós para transformar os alimentos em funcionais. Toda raba.